Hey, good morning all. Today I am in Laguna Niguel, California, shooting aerials for a real estate agent. I'm not quite sure what the property looks like. I'm headed there now, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, now that that's done, I'm headed back to North Orange County to run some errands. But what would normally be dead time of me just driving, I'm actually taking this opportunity to upload this footage via a Wi-Fi hotspot that I have plugged in to my OBD2 port in my car. So I want to maximize all the time that I have and just take advantage of that. But since I'm going to be uploading and driving at the same time, I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you guys about something that's been on my mind. A couple things, really. One is the new FAA DroneZone portal. So if you haven't checked it out yet, the FAA has put together a streamlined portal where you would set up an account, which is free. You log in and you can actually submit airspace authorizations and or waivers on this portal. Now, the way that the system worked before is you fill out a similar form, and once you hit submit, it would pretty much get sent off into cyberspace, and there was really no way to track it, no way to check status. It was a really bad system. So now, because of that, this portal, they can actually have you log in and you see all of your airspace authorizations there. It makes it a lot easier. It's a lot cleaner, and you can kind of keep track of, where your requests are at. One recommendation that I would make is maybe incorporating like a Google Maps where you put in the address of your intended flight. And I know the FAA has an app out there called Before You Fly. I think they can easily incorporate that into it. That way it makes it a little bit easier for operators to get GPS coordinates, latitude, longitude, that sort of thing. I mean, I can do that easily on Google, but it's just another step to have to type in the address, get the GPS coordinates, and then type in this information into this form. So it just makes it a little bit easier. I wish they would somehow incorporate something like that. I think that would be kind of cool. But other than that, I mean, I think it's a little bit better than what it was. It's still not perfect, but it is definitely a step up. Okay, so the idea of the FAA putting together this portal for Part 107 operators is great. But it definitely leads me to my second point, in which the FAA is hella backed up. All right? Today is February 6, 2018. This morning I received an email from the FAA stating that a request that was submitted September 19, 2017 is denied. And they said that I needed to allow them at least 90 days for them to properly evaluate the nature of my request. All right, so the 90 days would have then expired sometime in December. I want to say December 17th or 18th. And so I'm just not actually sure as to why I'm now getting this email. Now, I mainly shoot real estate, and I'll be lucky if a realtor gives me a week's notice to shoot their property, let alone 90 days. So that whole 90-day thing is definitely unrealistic for the type of work that I do. So currently I have about 5 authorizations that are under review in the FAA DroneZone portal. So I've set the expectation with my clients, letting them know that the request is in, and I will let them know as soon as I hear back from the FAA. But I also did tell them not to hold their breath because of the fact that it is taking longer for the FAA to approve such requests. So we'll have to see and play it by ear. And the whole reason for this is mainly to stay compliant. I am a Part 107 drone pilot, but I'm also a Part 61 private pilot, And I would hate for any of those certificates or licenses to be jeopardized just for a real estate job. It's definitely not worth it to me. And that's what I'm really trying to relay to the client. But that just goes into, the real estate agent who is very adamant about what he or she wants and is willing to overlook, the laws or the regulations to get what they want, which may include hiring, Joe Schmo who doesn't have his 107, but has a DJI branded drone that is capable of capturing similar shots that I am, but definitely not in compliance with the rules and regulations. And that leads me to my third point. Okay, so if you are in the drone or aviation community, I'm sure you've seen by now the viral video that's been posted of a knucklehead that was flying his drone close to a Frontier Airlines aircraft while they're on final approach to McCarran. So a couple things just annoy me about this whole situation. It really gives drone pilots a bad rap, right? It gives the whole industry a bad rap. We have to jump through hoops such as the FAA portal, this whole Airspace Authorization. And I get it, it's for safety. We're sharing airspace with actual manned aircraft, and that's the reason why we have all of these rules and regulations around it. But I just feel like, something like this can really just make it harder for legitimate drone pilots and businesses to basically do our jobs because of the fact that one knucklehead wanted to see how high his drone can go and if he could sit there and make a dope, epic video of him dive bombing a freaking an airliner, right? It only takes one. You've heard it all before. I really feel like us as a community need to sit there and get behind the industry as a whole, and to allow something like this to kind of go up online and go viral. I mean, it's getting a lot of attention because of the media, the news, but now from what I understand, the FAA is investigating it, the FBI is investigating it. They're talking about if there's any safety violations that can range up to like a $1,400 or $1,500 fine, but if there's any criminal charges that could lead up to 3 years in jail and a $250,000 fine. To be honest with you, I really hope that they catch this guy and just make an example out of him, just because of the fact that I try to make it a point when I go out to not only educate my clients, but also to educate those around me who I interact with when I am flying missions. And then on top of that, when I'm trying to explain to a realtor why I can't fly within 5 miles of an airport, and they can't understand why, they're having a hard time understanding why, this is really the reason why I can't, because there's actual aircraft landing that are on approaches. It was definitely not safe. It was definitely illegal. And those are my 2 cents on it, man. I just hope that if they do catch him, man, I hope they make an example out of him, man. I know that might sound harsh. It might be a kid who built his first drone or whatever, and he's trying to get into racing, but dude, there's rules, regulations, and it's just really there to keep everybody safe. And once you start neglecting that, I mean, it only takes one, I guess, for the whole industry to just kind of get shut down and changed.